Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Harmony, and today I wanted to walk you through my 2024 bullet journal setup. I've been bullet journaling for over 7 years, and these are the spreads that I always put at the beginning of every journal. This journal is a Leuchtturm 1917 dot grid notebook. It is the size B6 plus, hardcover in the color Port Red. It has over 200 pages. The first thing I do with every new journal is create a little grid guide for myself. So I turn to the back page and I don't do anything fancy. I simply just count the boxes along the side and the boxes along the bottom, and I just write that in for myself. So the B6 plus size is smaller than an A5 but bigger than a B6, if you're familiar with those sizes. And so I don't know the number of boxes by heart because I've been using A5 for several years now. And if you're curious, there are 5mm boxes and 34 boxes along the side and 22 boxes along the bottom. Okay, once the grid guide is done, I go to the front and I start setting up the spreads that I always set up at the beginning of every new journal. I already wrote my name in for a reel, and so I'm going to go right in with my 2024 title page. I'm using stickers from Stick with Kate. The florals here match the Port Red cover, and so I knew I wanted to use them for this. The cover page doesn't really serve any functional purpose, I'll admit that, but I do like how it starts the journal. It uses this sort of awkward first page for me, and I love how it looks at the beginning of a new year. So I'm going in with my Pilot Vanishing Point fountain pen. It has a fine nib on it, and I'm just using the Pilot Burgundy cartridge ink, and I'm writing 2024, and that will serve as my cover page. Since the index is already pre-printed for me in Leuchtturm 1917 journals, I'm going to go right in with my future log next. If you're not familiar with the bullet journal method, a future log always starts your bullet journal, and this is where any future planning happens outside of the day or the month. I have been using the same layout for several years. I split the page into 2 columns, and so for this particular size journal, these columns are 11 boxes wide each, and I just split it all the way down the page. So then I go in and I just write out all these little mini calendars. I actually really enjoy doing this part. To me, repetitive tasks let me zone out a little bit. It feels a little meditative actually, but I know that's not how everybody feels about it. So they make stickers and stamps that can speed up this process for you if that's more your style. I typically get 6 months out of each bullet journal, and so that is what I set up for my future log. I'm only showing 4 here, but on the other page I set up 3 more months plus space for the rest of 2024. I've seen some other bullet journalers set up a year and maybe even 2 years sometimes, but to me I feel like 6 months is a realistic time frame for my future log, so that's what I always set up. I'm going in now with my Pilot Vanishing Point again to write all the months at the top. And this is the other side that has the rest of the 6 months set up for my future log. In terms of use, I just leave the spread like this and I fill in events as they come up. I do tend to pre-fill in birthdays and national holidays though. And if you're interested in what a filled in future log looks like, I have a video on my channel flipping through my old 2023 future log there. So after my future log, I always set up an order tracker. I keep my entire bullet journal pretty minimal, but especially these front pages because I never know what style I'm gonna like through these next 6 months, and so I want to keep them pretty bare. For my order tracker, I just set up 2 identical tables. They're split into 3 columns, one for date, one for the items, and one for checking off the item when I receive it. I do the exact same thing on the second page, and then I just title it along the top. An order tracker serves 2 purposes for me. It allows me to obviously keep track of items that I've ordered online so that I know I have received them, but also to keep track of my spending and my ordering in general. So I'm going in here with these mini stamps from Beverly. This is the stationery set. and I'm using the Spiced Chai ink, and I just thought they were so cute and minimal. I thought it adds just the right amount of decoration to these pages, and so I thought I would use them for my new setup. I'm labeling this as order tracker, and then this spread is done. One thing I incorporated in 2023 was small but super helpful for me. I put a little tab right at the front of these custom collections. That way I can find them easier. Those little sticky notes from Peach Palm were a perfect color, so I snipped off the edge so that it looks like a tab, and I just stuck it right on there. The next layout I set up is my notes pages for my children. I always set up one notes page per child. I have 2 kids, and this allows me to have one reference space for any notes that I need to take for them in terms of specialist appointments, doctor's appointments, school meetings, milestones they've hit, anything like that that I want to reference for later. My practice is that I always take notes in my daily log, but if it's important enough for me to reference later, I will transfer it over to this custom collection so that it's easy to find. I've split the page up into 3 columns, one for the date, one for the type of note, and one for the note itself. I don't typically need more than 1 page per child, but if I ever did, I would just create a new collection somewhere in my bullet journal and thread the notes pages together in my index. I thought I would do a little bit of a different style this year and put the labels along the side, and I'm going back in with the same stamp set, and I'm grabbing the cute little mini pencil stamp and putting those as little decorations. As a parent, these spreads are extremely helpful for me, and I've been using them for years. After those spreads, I set up my grocery list spread. It sounds way more fancy and looks way more intricate than it actually is. This is actually the last custom collection that I set up at the beginning of every new bullet journal, so we're actually almost done here. So my grocery list is just one big spread of check boxes. You don't have to do check boxes. You could just do dots. You could do nothing at all. But I split the page into 3 columns. For this size of journal, they wind up being 7 boxes, 7 boxes, and 8 boxes wide, respectively. And I just fill up 2 pages with those check boxes. This is just one big dumping ground for any groceries that we need throughout the week. I will usually get 4 to 5 months out of this, and then I wind up having to create a new grocery list somewhere in my bullet journal, and then I just thread those things together. I just write down the things that we need on this spread throughout the week, and then I take a picture before I go to the grocery store, and it's very nice and easy to use. So that's the last custom collection, and after that I go right into my monthly logs. Here is the final flip through. Thank you so much for watching this video of my bullet journal setup. Happy New Year, and I'll see you on the next one.